Hey all, welcome to Homeschool. And today I have come up with one more important and basic chapter of Class 7 NCERT or CBSE syllabus, that is the soil. So the word soil is not a new word. Every day, right from small, we kept on hearing this word soil, right? So where do you find this soil? Can you be able to find the soil? Yes, you would say the soil is everywhere, right? And where are you sitting and where am I standing? See, I'm standing, right? You people are sitting and watching a video. So where am I standing and where are you sitting? I can indirectly say that we all are there on a soil. I am standing on a soil. See, I may be there in a room where the room has floor, but what is there below the floor? What is there below the building? See, you may be sitting in a building, in a particular room, but where is that building? It's there on a soil. So definitely, each and every organism, it may be a plant body or animal body, everything is placed on so-called soil, right? So, in this particular chapter, we are going to study everything about a soil. Every basic point about a soil, right? Okay, so first and foremost, if I ask you a definition of soil, what do you say? We all know what is a soil. We all know how important the soil. We can see the soil everywhere, right? So there is a soil below your building, there is a soil in a garden, there is a soil on a road, everywhere soil is there. But how do you define a soil? You must able to write a definition, right? So how do you frame a definition for a soil? Don't worry, I will show it on a board. I'll write it on a board. And one advice from my side is, whatever I write on a board, you must note it down in your books. Clear? See, science is a subject where you have to learn along with practice. Say, when you listen to a maths class, you will write whatever the ma'am tells on a board, you will write in a book. In a similar way, science also should be written on a book. Okay? See, science is all about facts, interesting facts. Right? So all these things you have to learn along with noting down in a book. If you want to revise about a chapter, how do you do? If you have something in your book, if you have written something in your book, you can open it and revise anytime, right? So better write everything on your book. Whatever I write on a board should be there in your book. Clear? Fine. So now I am giving you the definition of a soil. Clear? So what I would like to say is, soil is a mixture. Okay? It is a mixture of many things. So what are those many things? There are many things present on a soil. So what are those many things? You will find particles of rocks, yes or no? Particles of rocks you will find, small particles of rocks, and then microorganisms. There are so many microorganisms in a soil, guys, and these microorganisms are very much helpful for human beings. Not only for human beings, it is helpful for all the animals that live on earth. Right? So microorganisms like bacteria is present on a soil. And later, it also has humus. So what is this word humus? Humus is nothing but rotten or dead plant parts. Plant parts. Say, imagine, so leaves fall on a ground, or the small stem-like structures fall on a ground from plants. So these leaves leaves and stem-like structures which is falling from plant will die and they will get rotten, right? And that stays on a soil. So if you take a soil from your garden and watch it, you will find the dead leaves, small stems, yes or no? And the dead organisms also. You will find the dead insects, right? Dead bugs, dead worms, everything you will find in a soil. So this dead and rotten plant bodies or some kind of animals or organisms is called humus. Okay, so here it is very, very important to understand each and every word's meaning. Yeah, so soil is a mixture of many things. What are those many things? Particles of rocks, microorganisms, humus, and nutrients. Nutrients. Okay, so what do you mean by nutrients? Nutrients are nothing but certain chemical substances, chemical elements or compounds. Okay, so you might have heard in the previous classes, or it is known for everybody that soil contains certain chemicals. It will contain nitrogen, it will contain phosphorus, it will contain sulfur, carbon, hydrogen. You know what are all these? Chemical substances. So those chemical substances are called as nutrients. Okay, so all these are found in soil. Found in soil. Okay, so this you can take it up as a definition for soil. So I repeat once again, soil is a mixture of many things. So what are those many things? Particles of rocks, microorganisms, humus, and nutrients. Okay, so all these combine and you get a soil. Clear? And now let us try to learn about importance of soil. So why we have to learn about this soil? Why is soil very important? It's very important. Yes or no? Why? Because, you know, it helps for agriculture. And not only agriculture, can you be able to think of our life without soil? Can we all stay alive without soil? Never, right? We all would have not there if soil was not there. Because soil is there on the earth, the living organisms are taking life. They are surviving. The plants are surviving is all because of soil. Okay, various organisms will stay in a soil and form a kind of ecosystem. Okay, it makes the vegetation, isn't it? So soil is very, very important. So importance of soil can also be called with the term soil teeming with life. Soil teeming with life. So what is the meaning of soil teeming with life? You know, soil is the one which provides a surface, which gives a platform for all the living organisms to stay together, to survive together, to help together. Yes or no? Because of the soil, plants are growing. Since plants are growing and giving food, we live like animals, like human beings and other animals are surviving because plants give oxygen, we take oxygen. Plants are giving food, we are consuming it, right? So each and every living organism is dependent on one another and it's all happening in so-called soil. Right? That is why we say soil teeming with life. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? All life forms are surviving and dependent on each other, they stay as a team on a single platform on earth called soil. Yes or no? So we all stay on a soil only. We all dependent on a soil. All organisms are dependent on each other and we are helping with each other. And so we are surviving and taking life and having life happily on earth. Isn't it? So that's why the soil is very important here. And this particular thing we will call it as soil teeming with life. Okay, soil teeming, all organisms, all life forms are staying as a team. Okay, the name itself says that all life forms are staying as a team and working as a team, having a life as a team on a soil. Okay, and the next important point you have to remember is soil is very much necessary. Soil is very much necessary for agriculture. Right? So through agriculture, we grow different crops. Okay, so these different crops gives us food and then cloths, etc. Okay, so how do you get cloths? Cloths you will get it from cotton. Yes or no? So cotton is a crop. Cotton you will get it from a plant. Where do you grow that cotton? It's on a soil. So this is about importance of soil. Okay, soil is very much essential for a living organisms to survive on planet Earth. If soil was not there, we wouldn't have survived on this planet. Yeah, so got to know how important soil is? Fine. And now we will learn how is this soil formed on this planet Earth? Yes, there must be some process, no, for the formation of soil. We have different kinds of soils. If you go to a desert, how does a soil look like? Sandy. You will find all sand. Okay, and if you go to your garden, how does a soil look? It's very soft. Okay, so we have different kinds of soils. So how are these types of soil is formed in our nature? That's what we are going to learn now. Clear? See guys, soil is formed by a process called weathering of rocks. See, weathering of rocks. So now it's very important to understand what do you mean by this weathering of rocks. Any kind of soil is formed by weathering of a particular rocks only. So what is this weathering? Weathering of rock is nothing but breaking bigger rocks into small particles. All this you have to write down in your books. Bigger rocks into small particles. So how does this happen? How does a big rocks will break down into small particles? You know, long ago, our earth was full of big rocks and mountains. Over the years, weathering took place. That means those big rocks broken down into small particles and we have got this soil. Once the soil is formed, you know, the plants started growing and the living organisms like animals started appearing. That is how we came on a planet Earth. So how breaking of this bigger rocks into small particles takes place? You know, this breaking takes place with the help of sunlight, rains, wind and certain plants. Clear? So how is our bigger rocks are breaking up into smaller pieces? This breaking takes place with the help of what? Can you able to repeat? With the help of sunlight, okay, then wind, rain, even ice and certain plants. So this process is called as weathering of rocks. Understood? Soil is formed by weathering of rocks. So weathering in the sense, bigger rocks or bigger mountain things will break up into smaller and smaller pieces. So how this breaking takes place? With the help of sunlight, wind, rain, ice and certain plants. Okay, so one example I will show you. Imagine this is a big mountain rock. Clear? And this big mountain rock will get exposed to sunlight and sometimes rain also falls on this rock. This happens for many years. You know, rock will not break down into smaller pieces in a single day or a single night. This breaking up bigger rock into smaller particles takes place many years. It will take thousands of years, lakhs of years. Okay, so over all these years, this rock gets exposed to sun. Okay, and even during the rainy season, rain also when falls on a rock, you know, slowly after many years, you will observe certain cracks on a rock. You will observe certain cracks on a rock. Slowly, rock is getting cracks. And during winter season, sometimes snow may fall, isn't it? So that snow may get stuck in this cracks. Okay, so this snow also helps the rock to break down. So continuously when this rock exposed to ice and when ice struck in this crack, slowly this particular big rock will break down into smaller rocks. Okay, so on this smaller rock, even the wind also. So whenever a crack is there, if wind is blown very strongly, you know, that crack, it will get separated. The rock gets separated into two pieces, right? So here, ice and wind help the cracks to separate completely. It will help this rock to break down into smaller and smaller pieces. Okay, so now you have got smaller pieces of that rock. And what happens is on this, the plant may grow. Okay, so there are some kinds of plants which grows on these smaller rocks. And these plants, you know, they release a kind of chemical. Even that chemical helps the rock to break further. Okay, so this chemical helps the rock again to break up into smaller and smaller pieces, and this smaller and smaller pieces together we will call it as a soil. And later more plants can be grown, more organisms comes, they also die and they will decompose, you know, and humus occupies that way on a soil, and there are many things they come and join in a soil. Clear? So this is what we call weathering of rocks. You can understand this very clearly in a better way with the help of a visual that I am going to show now. Now let us see a visual. See everyone, let us see how soil is formed. Soil formation is also called as weathering of rocks. Weathering in the sense, as I already told you, breaking off big rocks into small pieces, right? So soil is always formed through such big rocks. This is what we call weathering, breaking big rocks into small pieces. And how does this happen? This will always happen, whenever there is a change in a climate, either by sun, right, or by water, or by ice, or by growing certain plants. So when there is a change on the surface of a rock, with the help of sunlight, water, ice and plants, the big rock will break down into smaller and smaller pieces. And let us see how it is breaking down. See, here is a big rock and it is continuously got exposed to sun and rain, okay, gradually. So over the years, when this has exposed to rain and sun, you will observe certain cracks here. See, you have observed crack, isn't it? So how these cracks are formed? When this particular big rock continuously exposed to sun and rain for many years. Clear? See, breaking a rock doesn't happen in a single day. It takes many years, lakhs of years to happen, right? So when the rock continuously exposed to sun and rain, you find this particular cracks. And now in these cracks, if ice forms, say during a snowfall, if ice struck in this crack, that ice can also able to break the rock, right? See, snow is falling, and when this snow falls in a crack, it becomes ice actually. That also helps the cracks to widen up, and finally the big rock has broken up into smaller pieces. See, now it has become almost like a soil, right? And later what happens, a small plants will start to grow in this particular area, right? It has, see, now the big rock has broken up into smaller particles, smaller rocks, no doubt, but it is not completely become into soil. So now what happens, when the plants grow on this rock, these plants actually releases a kind of chemical, and that chemical again breaks up this rocks, this smaller pieces of rocks, into much more smaller pieces, right? So like this you get a sand, or different kinds of soil, right? Different kinds of soils are formed depending on which rock is broken up, right? So this process only we will call it as weathering of rocks. So here you can read a definition: the action of sun, water, ice, wind and plants break huge pieces of rocks to form soil. This process is known as weathering of rocks. So this is how a soil is formed from big rocks. So who is responsible for this breaking of big rocks? Sun is responsible, then rain is responsible, wind is responsible, as well as certain plants are also responsible. So all of them together helps the bigger rocks to break up into smaller pieces. So this is how the soil is formed. So guys, with the help of a visual, we got to know how a soil is formed completely, right? Fine. And next we are going to learn is about soil and its layers. See, whatever soil that we see with our eyes on the land is actually the first layer of a soil. Okay, that means it is the topmost layer of a soil. Below that there is one more layer. Below that there is another layer. Below that there is another layer. Okay, there are many layers of soil, but which layer we are going to see, which layer we are seeing from our eyes? It is the topmost layer. Okay, so all these layers, when you can see, say for example, during the building construction, first thing people will do is they will dig to see whether water is there or not with the help of a JCB. Borewell, they will start putting a bore. Yes or no? So for putting a bore to see whether water is there under the ground or not, they will dig a long hole. Even to put a pillar during a construction, we dig a hole on a land. When you look into the hole, then you would observe different layers of soil. Topmost layer is one type, okay, the texture is different, the color is different, okay, when you touch it, you feel that its nature is different, okay. Below that there is another layer which is actually a very hard. Below that, deep down, you would find another layer which is full of rocks. Like this, there are many layers of soil. This is what we call soil profile. Okay. Anyway, about this soil profile, we are going to discuss in the next class in detail. And now, let us study some activity about the layers of soil. Okay. Say, for example, you take a glass. This is actually a beaker. You take a glass vessel which is there in your home. Take some soil from a garden. Okay. See, I am talking about only the topmost layer. See, whatever soil you are seeing on a roadside, in a garden, everything is a topmost layer of a soil. Okay. So, take that amount, some amount of soil in your hand, put it here. Initially you take some amount of water in a beaker, put the soil, okay, allow it to settle for some time. See what and all you will observe in that top soil itself. Okay, see, I have done this and I have got that for you. You can see here. See, yesterday night, what I have done is I took a glass of water. I have put a soil which is available in my garden and I have put it here. I allowed it to settle for one full night. Say today morning when I got up and observed, this is how the soil looks like. Okay, so what you would observe at the bottom is the bigger rocks. Say my garden soil does not have a bigger rocks, that's why you don't find bigger rocks, but whatever bigger rocks were there in a soil, all of them will go and settle at the bottom, isn't it? Because bigger rocks are more heavy, so they will go and settle at the bottom. Later, the sand particles will settle. Later, the clay particles are getting settled. And you see on the top, you have the dead leaves, rotten leaves and the rotten stem. And all these are staying on top of a soil. See, this is settling on top. Okay, say if I draw this on a board, how does it look like? See here, I took a big glass. Okay, so where if I have a bigger rocks in a soil, that will settle at the bottom. So what is this? This is big rocks, settles on a bottom. Okay, and above this, what will settle? Sand particles. Sand particles are quite smaller than bigger rocks, isn't it? So this is sand particles. And after that, you will see the clay particles. Clay is a type of soil where the particles are very much smaller than sand. Okay, so clay will settle. And here fully is water, right? So all these particles are more heavier than water. That's why they are settling down. So here you are finding water. And on top of the water, what you would find? You would find the dead plants, okay, and leaves. What is that called? Humus. What is that called? Humus. Okay. So once again, I am showing you on top. You can observe, right? The dead. You can see the dead leaves, rotten leaves. This is what we call humus. See, the top soil, when I have put in water in a glass, you can observe different layers. Humus layer is one layer, clay layer, sand layer and big rock layer. Like this, okay, when you dig a hole on land, on a soil deep down, you would find different layers. Okay, so about these different layers, we are going to study in our next class. And these different layers, we actually call it as soil profile. Okay, so you have observed different layers in a small glass. Likewise, you will observe different layers of soil on earth. Clear? So this activity even you can do. You take your garden soil. See, my garden soil is different from your garden soil. Yes or no? We have different types of soil. So take a soil from your garden or roadside. Okay, put it in a glass of water, allow it to settle, and observe what particles where they are settling. Okay, and if possible, draw a picture like this. Okay, so your own picture, what you observed in your glass of water, that one, draw it and send it to your teacher. And that is the homework for today's class. So have fun in doing this activity, have fun in drawing a picture and send it. So that's all about today's class. So everything you have to write in your book. Once you revise everything, okay, and that way you have to study science. Clear? So with this, I will end my session. We will meet up in my next class to study more things about soil profile, that is about layers of soil. Clear? Thank you so much.